Hello, my name is Adrienne Green, and I am the wife of Aaron Green, one of the elders here at MVF. And we just wanted to take some time to get to know the staff here and help you get to know them as well, since I think not everyone knows our wonderful staff. And so I get to talk to Dannae, our Pastoral Assistant. So thank you for meeting with me.
Yeah.
And my first question is, how did you even start here in your role at MVF?
That's a crazy cool story. I actually wasn't a true believer until the summer after my senior year when I went to CIY, and that's where I accepted Jesus, and I was actually baptized there. But then I came home and I went off to school, so that was about it. And one day I was hanging out, and our youth pastor at the time called and asked if I wanted to be a leader at youth group because their female leader was leaving. And I was like, no, it's a terrible idea. So I agreed. And that's how it all got started. I was involved in the youth group as a volunteer.
There you go. He doesn't always just call the equipped, he equips the called. So now you have several years under your belt, right? How many years have you been at MVF?
Full-time, we're coming up on 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So then how has your role changed from the beginning to now?
I started as an intern. When I got involved with the youth, I loved it, and so I went to school for it, and one of the requirements was an internship. So I started interning with MVF, and that eventually turned into the Pastoral Assistant, and that has evolved a ton. I was hired on with 3 pastors. It grew to 4, then it grew to 5, and then through some changes, it's back down to 3 now. And I think we've gone through certain seasons too. I'm not as involved with the youth anymore, but there's also this season where I'm heavily involved in the production for Sunday mornings. Yeah. So it is always evolving, always changing.
The queen of all things. So in your role, being kind of in the background, and now with COVID, I would say the tech world is the thing for so many businesses and churches. And so how has that evolved and changed for you? What do you have to do now that you do more than you did before?
Tech-wise, we obviously have the video that we're putting out every Sunday. But as a pastoral assistant, I think my role I have always considered a huge part of my role is praying for our pastors. Mm-hmm. And that used to be for boldness and for faith and for all sorts of stuff, and that has kind of shifted into creativity and encouragement for them throughout this pretty crummy time.
So what would you say then, and you've told the story, but what would you say is your main role in your support to the pastors? You told the story a little while ago about, share that with everyone.
Yeah, it's when I was hired on as a pastoral assistant, I started thinking pretty early on about when Joshua is fighting the Amalekites in Exodus 17, and as long as Moses' hands are raised, they're winning. But eventually, Moses' hands grow tired, and so Aaron and Hur come alongside of him, and they're actually holding his arms up. So my mantra has always kind of been so that his hands remain steady. That's kind of my goal here. My purpose, I think, is to hopefully enable them to keep their hands raised.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a team. I mean,
it does. There's
so many things, and there's so many I's to dot and T's to cross, and it takes a full team. And yet your role in the background. So as we come out of COVID and we start to open the church building back up, what are you looking for as far as volunteers go?
We have lived in this world with technology for the past, I think we're going on 9 or 10 weeks now, and tech is the thing. So if anybody's interested in the tech team, that would be awesome to have you. As long as the worship team, we're always looking for people to help us create an authentic worship environment.
So what would you say to someone who says, well, I love worship, but that sound booth, the soundboard, the thought of screwing something up for a Sunday after morning, I'm too afraid of that. Or I'm not trained for it. What would you say to someone who says, but I love worship, and I see what you do, and I want to be a part of it, but it is a little scary to me?
I would say come anyways, because you don't know how God's going to use you. And I think it's funny that you asked that because I am not a tech-savvy person. I don't know. Usually I make stuff up back there, and God works through it. And there's also Google.
Right.
Google and me are besties.
Right. So you heard it. Come volunteer, because we will need you. And there is a place for everyone.
Yes.
So then my next or kind of last question is, what is something that you would like the congregation and the community to know about the MVF staff that they probably don't know?
That's a hard question. Because all of them are such great people, with just hearts for Jesus and hearts for this community and expanding God's kingdom. And I've always said that I'm frequently humbled and always grateful that I get to serve alongside them, because that's exactly what they are, is servants, not just for the people here, but for the kingdom. And they're always ready for God to use them for the next thing. They're always willing, and it's incredible to watch. They're a great group.
They are a great group. So I'm so glad that you met with me, because I've known you, I get to know you a little bit more, but this has helped me so much, and I hope that it has helped you. People who work in the background don't always get the extra accolades. Usually it's because you don't want them. But so I'm here to say thank you for all that you do.
Thank you.
And all of the staff. We love you, and we want to honor you and just let people get to know you a little bit better. So thanks for meeting with me, and we will see you all soon.